Hey, church family. I hope you are having a great week in preparation for Resurrection Sunday. And I want to continue on as we've been going through the book of John and getting our minds and our hearts ready for this Easter, for this Resurrection Sunday and Good Friday service. And so we're going to be in John chapter 12, verses 27 to 36. I'd like to read that for you. It says, "Now is my soul troubled. And what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour. But for this purpose I have come to this hour. Father, glorify your name." Then a voice came from heaven, "I have glorified it, and I will glorify it again." The crowd that stood there and heard it said that it had thundered. Others said an angel had spoken to him. Jesus answered, "This voice has come for your sake and not mine. Now is the judgment of this world. Now will the ruler of this world be cast out. And when I am lifted up from the earth, I will draw all men into myself." He said this to show by what kind of death he was going to die. So the crowd answered him, "We have heard from the law that the Christ remains forever. How can you say that the Son of Man must be lifted up? Who is the Son of Man?" So Jesus said to them, "The light is among you for a little while longer. Walk while you have the light, lest darkness overtake you. The one who walks in darkness does not know where he is going. While you have the light, believe in the light, that you might become sons of the light." And see, we start out in verse 27, and Jesus is stating clearly, "My soul is troubled." He's fully God and he's fully man, and he knew what was going to happen next. He knew that the people that were shouting triumph as he came into the city would be yelling, "Crucify him." He knew the pain he would suffer and the sin that was going to be laid on him as a burden that belonged not to him, but it belonged to us. This is one of the scriptures that brings us face to face with the fact that Jesus was in great despair. It's prophecy, and it's being fulfilled in Isaiah 53:3. It says, "He was despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief, as one from whom men hide their faces. He was despised, and we esteemed him not." In anguish, Jesus calls out first for his Father to save him, but then he's reminded about the purpose of the hour. You see, this hour has been coming. Even before the creation, the Lord knew this hour was coming. The hour of his betrayal, his arrest, his beating, his ridicule, his torture, his death. He calls out, "Father, glorify your name." The glory of the Father would not be from what we think glory comes from. It would not be from fame or fortune or respect. Instead, God would show his glory through the sacrifice of his only Son. You see, in 2 Corinthians 5:21, it says, "For our sake he made him to be sin, who knew no sin, so that in him we might become the righteousness of God." Those that were near him heard this voice, like the one that was spoken at the time of his baptism, when God said, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." Now, the scripture we're reading today, God says, "I am glorifying my name, and I will glorify it again." This voice of the Lord was for those around Christ to know who really is in control of that moment. God was going to get all the glory over what was happening. Next, Jesus prophesies in verse 31, and he claims victory over the prince and power of this world. Satan is defeated by the sacrifice of Christ, and this victory is finished on the cross. One of the last words that Jesus Christ said on that cross was, "It is finished." A beautiful statement. He again prophesies in verse 32 about his death. Jesus knew he was going to be lifted up from the cross for all to see. The Romans and the Jews did this to humiliate him, but this moment would change the world. And what the enemy does for evil, God turns around and uses it for good. When he was lifted up, he will draw all men into himself. And in the same way, when we lift up Jesus Christ in our lives, he's drawn and lift up Christ, everyone is drawn to him. And so we finish this section of scripture with Jesus encouraging those around him and us to be the children of light. What does light have to do with darkness, the scripture says? This week and every week after, I want to encourage you this way. Walk in the light of the gospel of Jesus Christ. For those around you, for those that you're working with, that you're at school with, whatever you're doing, they want to see something real. They want to see the light of Jesus Christ shine in your life. May God bless you, and we'll see you this Good Friday service and Sunday morning as well. God bless.